Hello. We're going to a Shadowbringers extreme fight. This one actually takes a bit to unlock. Memoria Misera? Misera? This is part, you have to like unlock Baja in order to unlock this fight. But to unlock Baja, you have to have done the Stormblood Alliance raids, and so it's kind of a whole thing. So if you want to do this fight, you have to go through the whole process. So we are going to pick clock spots, and then I think we do light parties. Yeah, so we do clock spots and light parties for this fight to set up. And we'll just get going. This fight has a lot of baiting, and so positioning your character in certain places is going to be key to having a clean fight. So this first move here, Altius, is going to be a big raid wide, but it will also populate some X's behind your character, and those X's will eventually do a line AoE across the stage. And so there we go, we got the raid wide, and then here we have an X, and then we have like a bunch of X's here, and that is because we're all standing right behind the boss and baiting these X things. If you're standing here, for example, then the X will be here, and so then it'll do a line AoE this way. If you're standing here, the X is like this, then it'll do a line AoE that way. And so to keep it a little bit more clean for everybody, we have everyone stand south, main tank is north, and then the line AoE is just centered in the middle of the stage. Alright? But it sits there for a bit. We have this next move, Alea Lacta Iacta, I can't pronounce it, but it will target a random person, and then the boss will do some cleaves, and then a cleave in the back. And so since we were already standing south, ideally, the boss will just turn this way, and then the cleave will be like this. But if it happens that somebody runs out of the baited thing a little too fast, then the boss could potentially turn this way, and then the cleave is angled like this. Okay, so you have to pay attention to what direction the boss is actually facing. I usually look for the little side hitbox markers, so I know where the cleave actually starts and ends. But here, see, so I run to the back of the boss. There's just swipes happening. And then I run to the front of where the swipes happened, okay, to block that last one. And then these X things explode. Alright, and so you have to be careful. If the X's weren't baited, like in this formation, there was like an X here, like this, then, you know, we could have potentially gotten hit by that. And so that's why in this fight, a lot of people generally try to make it a bit more clean. Well, this is a minimum eye level, no echo fight, and so it is going to be, you know, more difficult than a synced run or unsynced run. Oh, that was a tank buster. So if you're doing it minimum eye level, then it's more important to be baiting these attacks if you can. Sitius is the tank buster. Okay, this one, Ignis, okay, it will turn towards a random person, and again, because we're all standing in the back, it will point over here. And so first off, there's this AoE here, like, get out of that, and then the boss is going to swipe, and here we have this orange X, and so that means the direction that he is facing is going to do a line AoE that way, and the orange X part is there's going to be a circle AoE in here. there's another variation where instead of it cleaving the middle, it will be a donut AoE. And so everything on the outside will be cleaved. But this one, the orange one, orange, like an orange, like fruit inside. And it's, you know, because in orange, the fruit is that color. Anyway, so that's that. And the radius of the circle AoE is roughly the size of this thingy. However, this attack is boss relative. And so if the boss is centered in the middle of the stage, then you can utilize this kind of circular thing. But if the tanks are tanking the boss like somewhere else, like over here, then that means the circle AoE is going to be over here, wherever the boss is standing. Alright, so just be careful with that. We discovered that through Prague. I was like, is it boss relative or stage relative? I think most people are like, it's stage relative. And I was like, okay, I could have sworn it looked like it was boss relative. And then at some point we all wiped because of something, and I was like, I knew it. It was boss relative. So anyway, there was, I missed that. I was chit-chatting. There was light party stacks. So because this thing is the orange one, and we know this inner circle thing is going to get exploded, we are going to do our healer stacks right outside the circle. Okay. And when you get hit with this, you will get physical vulnerability up, which is then why you don't want multiple people taking multiple hits of the stack. So that's, you got to spread those out. Okay. Would you dash yourself against my shield? Very well. We're gonna encounter a set of varying mechanics now that all sound similar. There's electrified gun shield, and then something else gun shield, and then something else gun shield. We'll see all of the variations. One of them is going to do a knockback. Okay, one of them is going to do a spread mechanic because it's AoEs on each person. And then one of them is a parry. And so that means you can't hit the boss on a certain side or else it will get thrown back at you. And so this electrified one is going to be the knockback one. Okay, so the boss is going to save it up. And there's this little duty thingy here that says charge. When this thing increases to 100, then that's when that electrified gun shield thing is going to go off. And so because it was the electrified one, that means we're going to get knocked backwards wherever we're standing. So you have to remember what it was that the boss casted. So you can say it in the party chat. We had somebody saying knockback or spread and things like that. And if you can't remember when it's going to happen, the sequence of mechanics, and you can look at this little duty thing. Okay. Altius, so this is going to be the raid wide, and we have to, you know, bait those X marks. Okay, so with X things, this is what these things are called. Eventually they're going to do a little cast, and that's when the X's are going to go out. So we ideally stay here, and then we will take the bait of this next move. See how it's angled a little bit? And so that means like we kind of ran out a little bit faster. And so it's not going to always perfectly be north, south, west, or whatever. It's wherever the person is that's chosen for the random cast. Also, we had an X mark that was facing this way. It was not perfectly baited, which happens, you know, it's fine. But most of them are facing forward. This one is facing south, but then we had someone who's angled a little bit, so that's why it went like this. And so you have to pay attention to that so you don't accidentally stand in it, which I was very close to. Let's see, I was very close to that one. Okay, But that AoE that was baited at somebody, this one, this thing, so it's gonna do a line AoE that way, but it's the orange one, and so it will do the orange circle AoE. People call it the point blank AoE. Okay. This charge is about to hit 100, and so it's the knockback one. Around here, you can use your knockback resist thingy if you want, or you can run closer to the boss. But if you run too close, like if you go into this inner circle, then this Ignis Est thingy is going to go off, and then you're going to get hit with the circle AoE. So that's why I'm standing like at the edge right here, and I wait for the thing to explode first, and then I run forward, and then running forward just a little bit was enough so that I got knocked back and I didn't go into this outer electricity area. If you happen to get knocked into the electricity area, you'll be turned into a rock, which I'm sure I have footage of later, and other people can free you from that rock. If you don't get freed from the rock, then you'll take some damage over time and then possibly die. Okay, so we'll see these mechanics again as I show more of the prog. Reinforced gun shield. I believe this is the parry one, and so if you did the Ravana fight, it's the one where there's like big shields, and then if you attack from this side, then it will just get thrown back at you, and so you have to attack from the front or back. Conversely, the shields could be south and north, and so you have to go attack on the sides. It really just depends on whatever variation you get. And so this, we'll just have to remember the parry, and it will go out again through this charge thing. Sitius is the tank buster. Yeah, you know, this person's health is pretty low. Hang on. Like their max health, this tank's max health is a lot lower than this tank's max health, and so I'm wondering if that's why they're dying to the tank busters. Okay, it also looks like they might not have been mitigating at that point. Maybe they did? Okay, well, in any case, we'll see. But after the tank buster, we got this parry thing, okay? And so you gotta move to the side if you wanna attack. Okay, so did you see that little knockback there? It's because we attacked it, and so I got hit with repay. Got a damage down. Oh, and a flesh wound. So that's a dot. That'll do damage over time. So you gotta stand on the sides. Okay, next one, loaded gun shield. This one is going to be the spread mechanic. Everyone's gonna have a circle AoE blown up on them, and so you need to spread out. And this is where you would go to your clock spot. And again, you can look at the charge thingy, so then you can see when that will blow up. Ventus Est. Okay, we got this. Don't stand in this. It gets baited on a person. And this one's green this time. And so the green one is going to do the donut AoE. Okay, so that little charge thing did go off. See how much it's increasing right now. This one, Ventus S, is about to go off. I'm standing right inside this circle thing, and that's how big the donut AoE thing is if the boss is centered. Okay, so I'm standing inside. The first thing that goes out is the donut AoE. Even though this thing is casted, it made the blinky noise. the donut goes out first. Immediately after the donut hits, I'm gonna run to my clock spot. Okay, and then there we go. We all get hit with this thing. We get fire resistance down. It's a decent amount of damage. And with the fire resistance down, if you get hit with multiple, so that if they overlap, you might die. Okay, or get close to dying. 14,000 damage. It's a little bit more than half my health. So, oh well, it's close. 14 plus 14 is 28,000. Okay, so if I got hit with 2 of those, oh yeah, that'd definitely kill me, because then this is just baseline. With the extra fire resistance down, I would get hit even extra, right? Because this times 2, yeah, sure, I'll get hit with another one, but with this extra debuff here, I'd probably die. Let's see, ZH, where are they? Ah, they're right here. Oh, okay. They got hit with the donut for some reason. I thought they were inside though. Oh, they probably got hit with this line AoE. Oh yeah, the tank here also got hit with that. So, when this cast, even though it's a donut AoE, remember it will still do a line AoE in the direction that that person was initially standing, and so it'll do this and then like this. So it's either gonna be inside fully cleaved or all the outside. Okay, but definitely still this line thing. So that's why the tank and the Reaper got hit with that, even though they were inside. Okay, and then we're running out. Okay, well, with that amount of health, they definitely won't survive the AoE spread. So that's why they died. Okay, this big move, Vivir Militaris, is a phase change. I'm also trying to like wipe my nose. I just got snot dripping. My allergies are super bad today. Okay. Wait, I was distracted. Okay. After the little cutscene phase change thingy, we have these 2 blades pulse things on the sides here. Each tank needs to take one of them. And when you're in there, yeah, they'll see. They go in, they jump in there, posturing now. I mean, sorry, posing. They will get hit with a flesh wound and this other thing called clashing. I think this is also the one that showed up in the pool of tribute. But yeah, so when you're in there clashing with this thingy, it's one of those active time maneuver things where you're mashing a button. Okay, and then everyone else is gonna target this blade's blood and destroy it. This Vivir Militaris thingy is gonna do a slow cast, and this is a DPS check. So we need to destroy this thing before this thing casts. While this is happening, like I said, the tanks have this debuff on them, and so lots of healing will need to be done. Also, there's like raid-wide stuff happening. This shockwave thingy. And so, is a DPS and healer check here. Looks cool, huh? See how much the tanks are getting hit with all this stuff. Okay, next phase. Reinforced gun shield. Which one is that again? Is that the shield one? I think this is the shield one. Okay, Altius is the raid wide, and we're baiting those X marks. Okay, let me get out of the way. Ventus is going to be the green one, so it's going to be the donut AoE, so we want to get inside. And then the reinforced thingy gun shield is the parry. So you want to go to not this side, but like the opening. And careful with the Ventus thing going out because of this line. Oh, never mind. This is just the Dark Knight shadow thing. Citius is the tank buster. Okay, it looks like both tanks are here and they shared it instead, so that works out. Electrified gun shield is the knockback one. So watch the little charge thing. Or listen for the ping. Okay, there was a caster called Reinforcements, ready the turrets, and so there will be little Magitech things around. There will be 2 tethers too. So we got Magitech turrets that we can attack. Okay, the Magitech turret 1. Those are going to be around the stage wherever, and we can attack them to get rid of them, because they're going to do their baited line AoEs. The Magitech turret 2, those ones are like off stage or something, and they'll have this tether thing, and so the tanks want to go pick those up and take the damage from those, like take those away from people. But then these Magitech bits are gonna bait. They're gonna target random people for these line AoEs, and so we want to take out these turrets. While that's happening, we've got X marks up in the front of the stage here, and they're gonna do line AoEs across, and so you gotta find the gap somewhere and then eventually make your way to that side. That would be the safe side later. But you still have to pay attention to the boss, because there's some trickery that's gonna happen. So dodge the line AoEs, tanks take the tethers from people, attack the ads. Okay. Oh yeah. So then we're going into this safe corner. I didn't make it in time. I was right on the edge of it. So you get a vuln up and a bit of damage. Oh, and then the little ping happened. Okay, the ping happened for the electrified gun shield thing, and it was a knockback one, and I was not paying attention. I was just focusing on this, which is why I got knocked back into this thing. And so you'll see me get turned into a rock here. Okay, and I'm slowly dying. Okay. And then I died because I wasn't able to get saved quickly enough. So, yeah. There was a noise of me getting rezzed, but then that person died. So that's why I didn't get raised. Because right after that, the boss is doing the Alea Acta S. I don't know if that's an I or an L. But it's the one where it does the cleave in the front, it swipes a few times, and then swipes in the back. Tricky business, this happens a lot. So you gotta watch out for the swipes. See how quickly people died there for not moving. It's very difficult to remember. Okay, but see, this person came over to rescue these two. But They ended up walking into the thing anyway so that they could die to reset the instance. Oh, in the chat they're debating strats here. One tank was asking if the other tank would want to just invuln the first tank buster and then share the rest. Okay, okay. Tank strats. Let's move on. So there's a raid wide and we're baiting the X marks. Wait for the boss to cast the Aliyah thingy, go to the back, wait for a few, 2, 3, 4 swipes, and then go to the front. Boss relative, go to the front of the boss swiping, not the front of the stage. Sitius is the tank buster. Okay, looks like they're sharing that. Okay, looks like they tried to. Ignis S targets a random person. Okay, is the orange one, and so the circle is going to be circle AoE, and we've got our healer stacks here on the sides. Sometimes the boss will automatically go to the center, but sometimes he won't. So you gotta be careful of positioning that. Electrified gun shield is going to be the knockback. We'll wait for the charge. Altius is the raid wide, and we're baiting those X things. Okay. And then we wait for this Ignis S, the baited thingy, for the line AoE. So it's orange is going to be the circle AoE. The charge is about to complete. And so stay out of the middle and run forward for the knockback, or use your knockback prevention. Reinforced gun shield is the parry shield. Sitius is the raid the tank buster. For some reason, the healer ran up here. Okay, the shields were on the north and south, so we go to the sides. Loaded gun shield, this is going to be the spread for AoEs. And again, typically we just try to stay stacked together in the back whenever possible to bait all these things. Ventus is going to be the donut AoE, it's the green one. So we'll have to stay inside a little bit closer, ideally not where the line AoE is going to be. If it goes off, then we go to our clock spots. This tank is totally utilizing tank privilege because they have way more health than us and have mitigations and stuff. They're standing in this line AoE, but it's been fine. But other people, it's not going to be as great for them to do that. Vir Militari S. This is going to be the phase transition, and then the tanks will go into the 2 blades, 1 in each blade. Okay, and they will do their active time maneuver thing, and everyone else DPS attack the blade's blood, while healers maintain healing everybody up. Okay, we did it. Reinforced gun shield is the parry. Altius is the raid wide, and we're baiting those X things. Okay, Ventus S is gonna be the donut. Okay, the parry is out, so make sure you're attacking the open side. The open side. Oh look. Rawr. Okay, so the donut thing went out, and then the parry did this thing too. Sitius is the tank buster. So it looks like, yeah, the tanks are sharing that. Loaded gun shield is going to be the spread. I know I don't really talk about like the tank stuff as much. Like I don't really talk about optimizing so much. Like I think it's more important just to make sure to clarify mechanics. Oh, this is the orange one, so it's going to be circle AoEs, and then we're also spreading. This is a simple pattern here because we have to stand outside anyway. Inside's going to explode, so we're out here. Okay, but then we had those things in the front, the X in the front, so we have to find the open column. Okay, and so we have the stack markers here. So usually group 1 will go north and group 2 will go south if it's like a situation like this. Yeah, I feel like making sure the mechanics are explained enough can then give people more. Okay, there's the tank buster. More tools to better handle strategizing however they want to handle this stuff. And since I don't play tank for these raids, I don't experience the tank situations as much, but it was pretty clear here when the one tank kept dying that something needed to change, and found out they needed to share that or implement it. Okay, electrified gun shield is going to be the knockback one. And reinforcements, so we got those ads. So tanks will take the tethers from people, because it'll do damage there. And then we're attacking the ads, and keep in mind the safe spot from the big X in there. And then keep in mind the charge thingy is going to be a knockback. Okay, so the things went out. Here. You can see these X things are called the Terminus Est, and they have their cast over here. It's like slowly increasing. So if you're not sure when they're gonna actually go, like blow up across the stage, you can look at your enemy list. So make sure you're in the free column. And then the charge thing's gonna go out, so we have the knockback. So use knockback prevention or angle yourself to not be too far from the center. Alea back to S is going to be the 4 swipes. So stand behind the boss. And then go to the front. And yeah, that one's tricky to remember. Also, because it hits so many times, you'll basically die as soon as you realize you're getting hit. Unless you can react super fast, you know? Okay, at this point, the boss went to the front, and then there's this gun shield thing, so we're gonna attack that. There's gonna be 2 main mechanics here. Magitech Torch is gonna be a stack. So we wanna stay together. T for together. Okay, and then the next one, also behind the scenes, the boss is doing Altius, and that's the raid wide. And so if we don't destroy this thing fast enough, it'll wipe us. Magitech Spark, S for spread. So we want to like spread out a little bit, because each person's gonna get hit with this thing, this little cone thingy. And then it has the magic vulnerability up, and so if you get hit with multiple, then you'll get more damage, that kind of thing. Okay. I took a picture. So cute. I spread because I think I knew what was coming up next. But if you don't know what's coming up next, you could just stay with everybody. Okay, because I had been running this, I think I had seen this far. Loaded gun shield is going to be the spread AoEs. But this next move is going to be a big move. Fortius. The boss has these arrows going around. Is either going to go clockwise or counterclockwise. What's going to happen is we're going to get a big AoE dropped on us, and then we're going to have to dodge a bunch of cones from the boss. And so that's why I have positioned myself all the way in the corner. This person has also gone all the way to the corner. And we are going to bait these big AoEs far as close to like the corner as we can. So see, we got hit with one hit of this like cone thing, and you'll always get hit with at least one because it targets everybody. So that's why we want to spread out so we're not overlapping. And so because of this magic vulnerability thing, you don't want to overlap with other people. While that's happening, like right afterwards, we drop this little puddle. Okay, so you want to move forward. After that, the boss will then keep doing these cone things in a particular direction. So I'll just play it out so you can see what it looks like. And so I'm dodging them left and right here. So with this, wherever people end up standing is this configuration, right? We have people like that. Because we were all positioned well, this was baited well, and so it kind of seems like the rotation doesn't matter that much, but it kind of does if you misbait this. I don't know if that makes sense, but let me explain here. When I'm dodging this stuff, see, it will rotate. So this one that cleaved just now was the one that was right here before, the one that hit me, but because the thing rotates that way, it's gonna go there. And so that means this one that is here is about to rotate over here and hit me right here. But because of, I don't know, math, geometry, it's just rotate. There's gonna be a cleave and then a gap and then a cleave and then a gap because we were all in our clock spots. What I can do is just stand at the edge. Once this one hits, I just walk into that space because the next thing is just going to be an open space. So I move into the open space and then I go back into the space that it was just hit and it's open space. And so I just stay in my little corner. Okay. And so that's how I would dodge it there. And then the little charge thing pinged and we're already in our clock spots. And so it works out that we stay spread for this thing. If people are not baiting the Fortius very well, then I can see how that can get very chaotic. But like I said, we had practice for I think another instance prior, and so most people were pretty good about standing in their spots. Okay, and then we've got the healer stacks. If you're struggling with the Fortius and people aren't in their spots, then that's probably a good place to clean up and discuss mechanics of either how it works or just doing callouts on like go to your clock spot and like stay in the clock spot. Because it's clean when it's clean, you know? I can dodge all this stuff because I expected to have a safe spot next to me all the time, and then I can move in, and people are adjusting to theirs in a similar way, like this. I I can see it just getting really messy though. And I'm sure I have footage of it somewhere, but I'm not going to open it because then my computer will probably crash. But I remember that one just being a bit of a pain to handle. So just know that. If you prog that to that part and you're struggling, it is a difficult thing to understand the first time. Okay, and then we have the tank buster here. Okay, there is a clone over here, so just be aware of that. Something's gonna happen soon. Electrified gun shield is gonna be the knockback. Oh, the clones do the X things. Okay, that makes sense. So we have a knockback in storage, in the charge. Okay, 4 TS again, so I'm going to my little corner. I'm gonna bait the line, and then also, okay, well, there we go. We got 2 people who were standing together, and they both got hit with a thing. They both had magic vulnerability, and they died. It was a tank and a healer, and they were at full health. Okay, well, one did have a vuln stack already. But, see, right here, they have full health, and they just immediately died here, because they got hit with 2 of them. So that's also dangerous. And let's see how this thing turns. It's rotating. Okay, it's rotating clockwise. Okay, so then I probably won't see it, but I go bait my little circle puddle and get out of that. And then, okay, see how I have such a big gap here now? I don't even have to move, really, because the gap is so big, because the healer wasn't in their spot, and so there was nothing here that I need to really dodge. So I didn't even have to do this back and forth thing. I could have just stayed still, because this was rotating. This open spot was basically rotating towards me. And that's why so many people over here were getting hit, because they had the double cone to dodge out of. Well, let's just play it out. See, they tried to go in the safe spots, but I think, yeah, they inevitably get hit with it because they didn't expect for there to be a wider cone than there was. So that's unfortunate. Okay, and then the X thingies went out, and so you have to go to your safe spot. And then there's a knockback. It's the whole thing. Okay, we use healer LB. Altius is raid wide with the baited thingy, so we're all trying to stack up here. Okay, there's an open gap over here, so we're gonna have to go over there at some point. Okay, we got healer stack, so we go into the safe column and go to our healer spots. Okay. Ventus S is going to be the donut AoE, so careful, don't stand in front of the boss. For that, I'm standing in front of the boss. This thing is going out, and so this is the cleave. Okay, so it's going to cleave in the front, so you got to stand behind the boss. I forgot, so I didn't make it. Okay, and then as you can see, the donut AoE is boss relative. Okay. The size is similar to the circle we saw over here, but as you can see, it's off center because it's boss relative. It is centered around the boss. I think this is where I was like, yeah, so it is boss relative. I think they designed it specifically like this to bamboozle people. Juke people. Okay, Sitius is a tank buster. Ignis S, this is going to be the orange one, which is the circle AoE in the middle. Alia Lacta, okay, so there's the 4 swipes in the front and then 1 in the back. So you gotta dodge those. Also remember to dodge the line AoE, the initial line AoE. Okay, then we get another Fortius. So you want to bait those things in the far corner so you have room to like move around and stuff. And you see here like how there's such a wide open areas because most of us are dead. So we didn't have to deal with bigger cones. Okay, that's the spread thingy, and then we have the healer stacks. And yeah, that's basically the fight. Great. I think this is their pool. Altius is the red white, and we're baiting the X things. Okay. Wait for this cast before moving. So somebody moved over here, and so that's why the cast is going this way. Okay. Most of the time, if people are still standing south, the cast will point this to the back. But because it's going this way, that means the cleave is going to go like this for 4 times, and then it's going to hit this side. And so this is a bit of a tricky variation because we'll have to also dodge these lines here. So 2, 3, 4, and then you run across, and you have to run more. I forgot to keep running because of these things. I got hit with all of these and I died. So the thing is, whenever I'm dodging things that's like stay in the back and then run to the front, I always just go just enough. But I forgot about these X things. So if you get a variation like that, just make sure you keep running more so you don't get hit with the baited stuff. Okay, so that's the tank buster. Okay, Ignis S is going to be the orange circle AoE one. And then we got our healer stacks here. And outsides. Okay, I think this person probably died because they were running through and they got hit with the circle AoE. Yeah, so they were running through over here. So they might not have made it in time. So they got hit with the circle. Oh, they might have also gotten hit with the line AoE. I'm not sure, but yeah, so that hits kind of hard. And then we're all pre-positioning here to bait the stuff. Electrified gun shield is the knockback. Electrified, like static electricity. Like when your hair, okay, Altius is the raid wide and we're baiting those X things. Like static electricity will make your hair stand up. And it's like it's flying. And so the knockback's like you're flying. Maybe? Like that? Is that helpful? Okay, the orange one is the circle AoE. But we have the knockback thing. So I use arm's length. And hopefully that was enough. But I typically always try to run forward if I can. Okay, we had one person who got turned into a rock over there. Reinforced gun shield. That is the parry. Sitius is the tank buster. Okay, the tanks are sharing that. Okay, the parry is coming out. Okay, that was a lucky one for us. We didn't have to move at all. Loaded gun shield is going to be the spread. Ventus S is the donut. Oh, okay, see, so this, I happen to be standing in that little small AoE, a little too long, and that's why I got hit with that. See, I stood in there, and so it snapshot on me. So be careful when you're doing that. This final run, I'm getting hit with all the things, so it's kind of nice for the video. Did I do that on purpose? I don't remember. It was like a month ago. But this is the donut one, okay? And then you back it out into your spreads. Revere Militari S is going to be the phase transition. Yeah, sometimes I do intentionally stand in certain things just to see what happens for the sake of education. But sometimes I'm just like, Okay, so tanks go into the blade thingies, and then we are gonna attack the blade thingies. That's what it's called, right? What was it called? I already forgot. Yeah, the blade pulse. Blades pulse. When you're in there, you can't get out, and so that's why it's important that DPS don't go in there, because then you'll basically just die. You're not going to be able to leave, you'll just be crushed by the weight of this thingy. Yeah, I guess if the tanks die in there, we'd probably all die. I could do a wipe. Because then this thing would actually hit us. Yeah. Okay, remember to attack the thing, and healers are keeping an eye on the tanks because of the bleed and then the big raid wides and stuff. Okay, next phase. Electrified gun shield is going to be the knockback. And then we got adds, reinforcements. So attack the adds, tanks take the tether away from people. Everyone else dodge the line AoEs from the adds. Figure out where the open X column is going to be and kind of make your way towards there as you're fighting these adds. The charge thing is going to go off in a moment, so position yourselves. The X's are going to go off. So stay in the safe spot. Okay, the charge is about to go off. Okay, that was the knockback. Okay. With that one, because we can stand in the center, there's not going to be like the big circle orange AoE. You don't have to use your knockback prevention there. You don't have to be as, you know, careful about it. You can just stay close to the boss, and you should have enough space no matter whatever direction you're kind of pointing yourself towards. It's just tricky if you're standing here, here, and then there's not enough space here. But if you're staying all the way here, then you definitely have enough space. So if you have to stand outside this circle ring, it'd be better to go to a diagonal, so you don't go here, because this is a smaller distance. Alright. Alea Lacta S. Okay, so we go behind the boss for 3 swipes, and then go to the front of the boss for 1 swipe. Reinforced gun shield, this is the parry. Altius is a read wide. And we're baiting the X things. Okay. Ventus S, that's gonna be the donut AoE. Okay, the parry is out. Okay. And then we go stand in the back again to kind of bait the stuff. Sitius, tank buster. Loaded gun shield is the spread. Ignis S is going to be the orange circle AoE. And then remember, we're spreading out here. And then after that, we gotta find the safe area. And we have the healer stacks. Group 1 north, Group 2 south. Sitius, Tank Buster. The boss is off center now, so be mindful of any mechanics because they're boss relative. Okay, well, never mind. There we go. The boss goes away. We got the gun shield thing, so we're attacking this. Watch for the 2 mechanics. Let's check Torch, T for together, so stack up together. And then the next one will be the spread. Magic Spark, S for spread. Okay, and then we're gonna get the loaded gun shield is gonna be the spread later. But I'm pre-positioning for the Fortius thingy, and it's gonna go clockwise. If everyone's in position, then we can deal with it fine. Okay, the first one, see, it hits us once and then it's gonna rotate, right? And so for the next one, after you get out of your puddle, you can just wait a moment and then you can move over. So I get hit with the first one and then it's gonna rotate, so I just stay in my column and then I rotate to the next one for the safe spot, and then I go back for the next safe spot, and then it keeps rotating, and then the charge happens, and so I'm gonna go to my clock spot for the spread. Healer stacks now, so I'm gonna go to my healer. Yeah, it's a bit to heal through if you're not careful. Sitius is a tank buster, so they're sharing that. The dudes are in the front, so we got the X in the front. Find the open column. Electrified gun shield is the knockback. Okay, I'm going to my corner for the Fortius. I'm gonna bait the puddle, get out of it, wait for the thing, go into the next clear spot, and then go back to my spot for the clear. Okay, go back and then go to the open column. I didn't go to the open column. Okay, but now and then we have the knockback thing. It's fine. Everything's fine. Altius the raid wide, and we're baiting those X things. Okay, the X's in the front are out, so we have the open column on the far right. Then we got healer stacks. Group 1 north, group 2 south. Oh, they went over there. They're over there. Okay. Hopefully it's fine. Well, we've got all these X things over here, so hopefully it's fine. Wait, did the healer die over there? They might have died over there by themselves. Yeah, I think they died over there by themselves because everyone else was kind of over here. Yeah, okay. So the healer went over there, and the other people there were all prepping. Or even though these X things didn't go off, most people thought they were, so that's why we went over here. So, okay, there's that. But then we have this Ventus S thing. So we're all hanging out in this safe column, okay? Ventus S is going to be the green donut AoE. Careful of the front. Alea like the S, so stand behind the boss for 4 swipes, and then go to the front of the boss, okay, for a swipe, and then the donut goes out, okay, and then at some point during all of that, during the Alea S thing, these X things these ones that we baited and also the ones in the front are going out. Okay. So this is also why it's tricky business with the whole baiting situation. Imagine if we didn't bait these X marks forward and back. So something like this. If we had some that were like this or like this, and then we're all hanging out over here and then we don't even realize what hits us because the bait thing happened like a few mechanics ago, and then that could have accidentally hit all of us. Okay, so that's why most people are so adamant on like stacking south behind the boss to bait these X things. Yeah, also, I don't know if you noticed, but every now and then, right before the, like, a big little attack is gonna happen, there's like this exhaust thing coming from the middle. And so that's a little indicator for mechanics if you like notice little tells like that. Okay, Citius, Tank Buster. Ignis S is the circle AoE. Alea like this, so behind the boss. And then in front of the boss, but then Ignis S is going out, so make sure you're like outside of the circle. But I hesitated a little. Oh no, I made it. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. Was that? Did they use? Okay, yeah, they used the healer LB for that. Loaded gun shield is going to be the spread. Okay, Fortius, so we go bait. Go to our clock spots and bait further in the corners with a puddle. And then move up a little. And then dodge to a safe spot on the side. Okay, then go back. And then the spread. Stay spread. Okay, and then we'll go to healer stacks. Oh. Okay, I died to damage. A lot of us are dead. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what happened here. Okay, so this person got hit with the cone when they moved out. So that's how they died. Yeah, see how like for me, I bait the thing here and then I move directly up and I'm still like kind of directly with the boss. Like this. I think what they did over here in the corner is go a little off-centered. So like, they're like right here, right? And so that means their cleave is gonna be like this. I know this is not perfectly angled or anything, but like my cleave is like this, right? It's something like that. Like the center of it is going straight to where I am. And then I think when they were running out of their puddle, it was a little off-center. So see how they went here, out like this, instead of being directly on this line. And so I think that's why they got hit with their cleave. Yeah, so they took damage from that. It actually crashed! We're so close to the end. I did want to show that because this is what I'm saying about the Fortius thing being a bit tricky. Like, you kind of have to be precise about it so you don't get hit with this stuff. Let me find it so I can show the... We're so close to the end. I will show it. How many Control-Alt-Deletes do I have to do, man? Dude, there's nothing for me to close. Is it not about the task manager controls? Oh, now the task manager is not working. Dude. Oh, you're gonna report the problem? Okay. Okay. Okay, this. Okay, here we go. Let's get the thing. So close to finishing. We're almost done. Okay. Right here. So yeah, this is kind of, it needs to be precise. This fight is like so much just baiting stuff so you don't get hit with things. Yeah, so I think what happened over here is because they were standing here and they moved out like right here. They probably stood like right here, just a little bit off center, or well, it is off center, but like it just, if they had moved just a tiny bit over, I think they would have been fine. But because they, instead of moving directly forward, they did a little curve, then it was hard to find where the curve, where the thing actually is. Oh yeah, they're like around here, so like right here or so. So they got hit with it. Or the way that they baited it was different than how they usually dodge it, because it's like, oh, I might look at these markers for where I usually stand, but if my initial bait was a little off, then the markers that I'm using on the stage itself might not work for me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm used to it being like this, then I use like this little thing, and I just move like this, that's fine, but that only works if I always bait it exactly where I baited it the first time that I noticed this marker here. You know what I'm saying? That means I have to always be exactly where it's centered to these lines if I'm going to use these lines as a reference point for that particular mechanic. So you bait the thingy, then you move directly forward, ideally, and then you'll be able to to dodge the very first one, because it will rotate to the next little area, depending on which direction it rotates. Okay, let's see what else happens here. We get the spread thingy, the spread AoEs. Okay, so we all take damage from that, and then immediately after is the healer section. So we need a lot more heals, but we just didn't have enough healing. Also, we were missing one person in the stack, and so yeah, let's see. The tank survived it, but me and the healer did not survive because we didn't have that much health left, and we were missing a person. And then over here we had one person survive it with the tank, but yeah, the healer on the other side was also very low on health. So this is really healing intensive at the end here, because we started out with a decent amount we all had full health at the beginning of Fortius, right? But because of this situation, you gotta dodge all this stuff, and so if you get hit with any of these things, you're likely gonna die. Okay. Yeah, I think because all of these mechanics line up so much, you would need the healers to do a lot of healing, which is also why generally healers are west and east, so that they are closer to the middle as opposed to like in the corners, you know, because then they wouldn't be able to reach people as well if they're like far away from everybody. But anyway, alright, Sitius is the tank buster. Oh, we have a paladin who can clemency. That's nice. 1%. Okay, electrified is the knockback. Okay, then we've got these X things in the front. Okay, Fortius again, so you go to your clock spots and bait your thing. And then dodge out of it by running forward. And then moving to the side a little. And this one's a little scuffed just because, you know, it's not everybody, but we had a lot of space. But yeah, we did it. A little messy at the end there, but it was enough to get the clear, so that was really nice. Yeah, this one, biggest things are to remember which one's to bait. You're basically standing right behind the boss to bait things, or in your clock spots to bait things. And then learning those gun shields can be tricky, and knowing when they pop is tricky. Other than that, it's not too bad. At least in terms of like crazy debuffs or anything, we didn't really see that. In other fights, there are a lot of debuffs you have to handle and stuff, but in this fight, it's all just centered on the boss. Like, you don't have to go check your debuffs and then like read the description of the debuff to know exactly, oh, am I going to the opposite add or this or that. You know, this one's a little more straightforward in terms of just doing damage to the boss and dodging a bunch of stuff. But the kicker here is that you need to know which mechanic you need to dodge, and it's based on the name. But after you familiarize yourself with the name of those mechanics, then it becomes not so bad. And then like it's a very much more of a logic-based dance, because of all the baiting and just remembering of names, rather than like doing tank swaps here and there. Like the last one that we did. What was the last one? The Cinder Drift one, where you had to like remember the colors that you had to go to which ad, or like there was stage wide like rushing of the boss and stuff like that. That was chaotic. But this fight, yeah, it's just knowing the names of the things and reacting to it, or pre-positioning yourself so that the fight goes a little bit better. Yeah. Anyway, bye.